Welcome to Sound Values, powered in part by LSA Burger and Classic of Denton.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight on DentonRadio.com. We are broadcasting out of the beautiful Discover Denton Welcome Center, located right here on the gorgeous, ever-cooling. It's only 88 degrees instead of 108, like we had a couple of weeks ago. Denton Square, it's lovely out there. Now, folks, I've got a newcomer, not like a necessarily newcomer to the city of Denton, lived here about a year, but somebody who's become a newcomer, but who will be around at Breakfast and Beats quite often, I can tell y'all that much. So this man right here is known as Breezeomatic.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man? How you doing, man? I will call you by the legal name as well, LeBree.
Okay.
You know, it's great to have you on, man. You know, met you a few weeks ago. You reached out to us on Facebook and then came to the Breakfast and Beats. And then played Breakfast and Beats, you know, and I will say the beats were awesome.
Hey,
man.
thank you.
I enjoyed it, dude. So, man, that's why, you know, you were somebody who came into town and, you know, you immediately sought out people who were doing things like you wanted to do and also did a few things of your own, you know, as soon as you found other people who were like, oh, cool, this is going on. And so I wanted to bring you in and kind of talk to you, man, and get to know who you are. And you know, I kind of know what brought you here, but, you know, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the music and how you got involved in this in the first place, man.
Okay.
So the first question I'm going to ask you is, you know, and I brought this up the other day, was what is your first musical memory?
My first musical memory?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to break it down in three parts. It's a three-part answer.
Okay,
Okay.
wonderful.
So my mom, my dad, and my brother are all huge musical influences to me. So I'm from Michigan. For those who don't know, and my mom and my dad split when I was a kid. So my mom, she lived on the Air Force Base, and she's like weapons grade people, man. She's all about exercising.
Oh, nice.
And she'd be like on the Bowflex, just cranking some Marvin Gaye or jogging, listening to some Charlie Wilson. And so she was real about the pop and like the kind of fun vibes.
Yeah.
And then my dad. He lived in Detroit, and he's a tool and die maker. He's a real technical dude.
Okay.
And he's kind of a ladies' man.
All right.
So his deal is he would watch Soul Train.
Okay. Yes.
And he would we'd watch it together, and he'd tell me about all the ladies in Soul Train. He'd be like, yeah, that one right there, you got to get one like that. And then we would go to the record store, and he'd get the songs that he just heard on Soul Train.
Nice.
And he'd kick it in there for like 45 minutes. I'm like a little kid. I'm like, it's like a library, but you can't read any of the books. So I'm like, get me out of here. But
oh, man. Do you like going to the record store as an adult now?
No, I still don't like it. Yeah, I find myself finding more music on the web, you know?
Yeah,
It's a little bit easier. You could do it, you know, in your drawers. So
Yeah, exactly. Don't even have to put on pants, man. Don't even have to put on those pants. So what about the brother, man?
So my brother, he lived with his dad for a while. Mm-hmm. So he moved back when I was in middle school. And he's 13 years older than me.
Okay.
So he had this truck. It was like a lowered Nissan truck, and he had like 410s in the back.
Ooh, okay. He was bumping.
Yeah, and he brought hip hop and all that into the life. So he was listening to like DJ Screw and Mike Jones.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, my dad's name is Mike Jones. but Paul Wall.
I got a feeling there's a lot of Michael Jones out there.
Yeah,
man.
there's a lot.
A lot of Mike Joneses. You know, some Paul Wall. Mm-hmm. Was there anything like, you know, because like these are a lot of Texas artists.
Yeah, so my brother, he's from the South.
Okay.
And he was real about the Texas kind of vibe.
All right. And so, like, you know, because all of these names are very familiar to me, but was there any hip-hop that was very localized to Detroit or just Michigan?
So in Detroit, you know, Slum Village.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Jay Dilla.
Yep.
You know, not so much Eminem, but, you know, my dad, he put me up on a lot of interesting stuff too. He's real big into jazz.
Okay.
And just everything. But he's big into like Phineas Newborn.
Okay.
Who thinks it's like the greatest piano player in the world. Pat Metheny, awesome kind of jazz guitarist, got real chill vibes. And,
Okay.
D'Angelo and Erykah Badu.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like D'Angelo was one of those artists who I always heard but never knew when I was hearing it because I heard it on the radio a lot.
Yeah.
And I was DJing down in Dallas at the AT&T like corporate office. It was one of the strangest events I've done in a while. It was fun. But there was a Dallas Maverick player there, and he was enjoying like the kind of funky vibes that I was playing, and he asked me if I could put on this D'Angelo track.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, for sure. I can find that real quick. And that was one of the first times that I was like, oh man, this is the grooves that I've been hearing that I've enjoyed on 104.5 and the R&B stations. So
he's like one of my faves.
That's cool, man. Now I do have a question. So like, because you mentioned Eminem. Now, Eminem was one of those people who, like, to me, I never heard a word from him until he was working with Dr. Dre.
Okay.
So, like, was he in Detroit, like, busting his chops, or was he one of those people who just happened to, go out to L.A. and meet Dr. Dre and all that kind of stuff?
He was doing a lot of that stuff when I was kind of too young to really. By the time he blew up, I was probably in like middle school. So I wasn't really crushing the scene back then.
Yeah, I was just wondering. You never know. I always wonder like, what was Marshall Mathers just at the store grabbing a pop? Back then. Just
I bet.
Hey, what's up, man? That's cool, man. So yeah, of course, Slum Village and Jay Dilla. Awesome, man. I mean, one of the most recognizable beats,
Yeah, man.
Just that one right there, And like you said, so this music all right here, and it's like, Charlie Wilson. So it was about 5-6 years ago, I was dating this girl, and she listened to R&B all the time. I always kind of listened to it, but not a lot. And she really liked to listen to it because it was what her and her dad would cruise around to as a kid. And so that's when I started hearing all this R&B music that I started really liking. And I remember there was this Charlie Wilson, My Name Is, or My Name Is Charlie, Charlie Wilson. I was like, oh man, I like this. So that was the first time I'd ever heard Charlie Wilson. And then you've got, your dad throwing out, Soul Train, and all that kind of funk. My dad really liked Motown and Soul Train. And then you got your brother who brought the hip hop.
Yeah.
And so what's cool is like, the Soul Train had a lot of that stuff was from the Midwest. A lot of those bands were developed in those areas. And then you have the combination of the South hip hop. Then you also got the melodic stuff from like R&B cats like Charlie Wilson and all that. So this is a good collection of musicians to develop some quality hip-hop music, if you ask me, man. So it makes a lot of sense why you make the beats that you do. And so that's kind of what I want to get into now is we've got the musical influences, but now when did we start to make beats? When did that come about?
So my dad, he introduced me to this program called Acid.
Oh, yep, Acid Pro, man.
Sonic Foundry. And I used to take piano lessons. I never practiced as much as I regret it now, but so kids practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, taking piano lessons and then also making just dragging and dropping pre-made loops in that Acid program.
Yeah.
And I was probably in 4th grade or something doing that.
Man.
But
goodness, 4th grade, working on them beats, man. That's what's up, man. And so, did you
maybe a little older?
Yeah. What did you? Because man, I remember when a guy gave me a copy of Acid Pro, I was like, "What is this?" And at that time, I was 21 years old.
Yeah,
I was 21 years old when this guy gave me a program. Because I just had a synthesizer, and he was like, "Oh, here, you need this too."
Yeah,
I had no idea what to do with this. So how did you go about figuring it out?
My dad showed me how to do it like once.
Nice.
And I wasn't awesome at it back then. Basically, you get a CD worth of the loops, and you basically just drag them and drop them and see how they work together.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
And you can make awesome sounds. So they'd have like drum loops. They'd have bass loops, piano loops, and you just kind of drag them together and see what you come up with.
Yeah.
He showed me how to do it like once or twice, and I was like, oh, what?
Yeah. Just sampling those different pieces that they had on there. That's cool, man. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, nope. No. And like I was rapping a lot back then.
Okay.
I was writing raps and stuff, and so I was more like, nah. I had a homie who lived down the street who could play the piano like a boss and had garage band and like. But with that kid, all he needed was garage band because he was such a fire piano player that it was like we didn't need 808s. He could make the groove himself. He was so good on the piano. But then when he moved, that's when I was like, okay, I gotta figure this out. And that's when I started changing from rapping to producing a whole lot more. So, you're figuring this stuff out, 4th grade, maybe a little bit older, we'll say 4th to 6th grade, just possibly.
I just threw out a number.
But yeah, that's like, you're anywhere from, 10 to 12 years old. That's an early time to start making beats. How did this kind of work into like your personal life, friendships as you were growing up?
So my cousin and I, we were really close. So I got a cousin my same age. His name is Emery.
Okay.
We got like a fashion art collective going. We call it
Nice.
Emily.
That's
so
cool.
He makes clothing out of Detroit.
All right.
And
was that the shirt you were wearing at the gathering the other night?
Yeah.
That thing was real cool.
Hey man, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you say your cousin's name was?
Emery. So
Shout out to Emery on the fine garbs.
yeah.
Nice threads.
Yeah, check him out at Emlay87 on Instagram.
EMLE87?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Got it. Cool.
I think there might be an underscore between 87.
We'll find it.
Yeah,
just in case.
You'll get there.
And so it kind of started with him in a way?
No, I mean, we just kind of we're almost like brothers, so we made stuff together.
All right.
So
cool.
his dad around the same time kind of showed him a little bit of it too, so we'd kind of kick it on that for a little bit. And then, I don't know, towards high school, I kind of fell out of it. And he kept going, and he was rapping and stuff like that. And I got Fruity Loops in high school.
There you go. Yep.
And started messing with that a little bit. And, fell out of it again. And then not till maybe about 2-3 years ago did I really get back into it. So
was it ever kind of like during that time off, was it ever in the back of your mind like it was something you wanted to get back into, but life just gets too busy?
Got too busy. I thought I was too important to be making music. I needed to work a job, but then I was like, all right, no, I just need to get back to this music.
So in between that, like when you were, in high school, you kind of fell out of it a little bit, and then, once again, you say 2-3 years ago, is when you kind of really started to get back into it, or did you kind of get back into using Fruit Loops? Like,
so I when I moved out, my dad gave me this awesome piano that he had, the Fender Rhodes.
Oh man,
88 key.
Oh, that's a beauty.
It's a beauty.
Yeah.
So I'd been playing that when I moved out of my parents' house, and then I picked up a machine.
Okay.
And it was like coming back home. It was like, oh man, I needed to be making beats and stuff. So I made I kind of had it all set up right in front of my kitchen, and I couldn't even get in the kitchen. I had like a keyboard in front of the entryway to the kitchen. I had
priorities.
My monitors set up. So I made this rig. I call it a mothership. There's a bunch of maker spaces in Michigan. There's one down here too, but I kind of used my work computer, designed it all up, and cut out this awesome rig to hold my keyboard
nice.
and everything. And from there, I haven't been able to put it down. So
yeah, man, that's what's up, dude. And so once again, the piano lessons. How long did you take piano lessons for?
Probably about 2-3 years.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but it just kind of stayed with you.
Yeah. Terrible at the piano.
Well, that's what our homie Mercy is like. He played last week at Breakfast and Beats, and he played the piano for, I think he said it was like 3 or 4 years. And he said the same thing you did. Like, I should have kept playing it. But as a kid, it's always hard to be that, like, I guess, single-minded, where it's like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. You know, like I remember my grandparents used to get real mad because every year I was playing a different sport. My grandpa was like, we're tired of buying him different stuff for Christmas every single year. He just needs to stick to one sport. But as a kid, I was like, I want to play it all, you know? And so it was hard to focus on that one thing. So and anytime I meet somebody who's like, oh, I've been playing guitar since I was 4.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like they're 27, 28.
An amazing person.
Like, and not just playing.
Yeah.
You know, not like, hey, every once in a while. You know, just
Shredding.
like professionally shredding and playing with blues bands when they were 13, man. I'm always like, goodness. Like, take some dedication, man, some focus right there. So you build up the mothership, and, you know, you're making beats and all that kind of thing. So was this all happening in 2-3 years ago? This would have been happening in Detroit.
In Detroit, yeah.
And so what kind of pushed you to get back into it?
My cousin a little bit, and also you know, just kind of feeling the urge.
Okay, yeah.
I downloaded this little this program for my phone called LoopStack.
Okay.
And then I started putting together like little piano loop tracks, but they're only like 8 bars.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I should maybe I should upgrade. So
yeah, I think that's what happens to most people. They're like, oh, this is fun. You know, this is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. That's definitely what happened with me.
yeah.
Right on. And so you're making beats with your cousin for, 2 years. Were you making beats for him as a rapper?
Yeah. So he raps and sings and stuff. So we made a bunch of songs together. Actually, him, myself, and my buddy Kai Beats from Flint. We had
Kai Beats. That's almost too close.
Very close. It's like Malachi.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We made we had a music group we called the Afro Space Connection.
Okay.
And we dropped an album together called Alternative Cool.
Nice.
And that was kind of the first return and kind of, linking up with those fellas.
Yeah.
Making something awesome that we could kind of share with the world.
So was it what kind of, if you had to brand it, unfortunately, a certain type of hip hop, what was the kind of vibe that y'all were putting forth, or what were the kind of the, who was it? Because we all, if we're rapping or something, everybody kind of emulates a certain style that they like. You don't want to sound like somebody. You just want to be able to kind of put the inflection on your voice.
Yeah. This one is I think it's pretty different.
All right.
A lot of the tracks are kind of different from one another, but it does kind of have an R&B vibe.
Okay.
A little hip hop inspired vibe, some trap vibes in there.
Right on. Yes, very eclectic.
Yeah, exactly. It's for weirdos. So.
Awesome. And so, when did this come out? When did you guys put this out?
1 year ago.
1 year ago. Cool.
Actually, no, 2. Yeah, if time is flying.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Time is flying.
So if I type this into YouTube, can I find it?
You'll find it on SoundCloud on my SoundCloud page. Yeah.
Oh, right on. And for the people watching, what is your SoundCloud page?
It is at Breezeomatic. So Breezeomatic.
Yep. And make sure you capitalize all the letters too, because the other night I was typing it in and it wasn't popping up. Luckily, I follow the homie, so I just typed.
Okay.
I found it eventually. I got to it. But yeah, who knows? Could have just been my computer. It is what it is. So yeah, man. So you're putting this stuff out, but then so that was 2 years ago.
Yep.
And so then you found yourself moving to Texas.
Found myself moving to Texas. Yeah.
How did that happen?
So I've been working for an automotive supplier, and basically they have a customer that's near and dear to Denton, Peterbilt. And basically
they're close by. They're close by.
They wanted me to kind of support that customer, so I'm down here kind of helping out with that. And when they asked me, it was snowing outside.
Yeah.
I was looking for a change.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, it's going to be hot down here. I hear it's a music town.
It's going to be hot. Yeah. We're like, oh, this heat's awful. Homie from Detroit's like, yo, Canada's just up the river. All right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's cool. But and so around what month did you move here? Do you remember?
Easter.
All right.
Yeah. Right after Easter, like that Monday.
It's a good time to come down, though. You know, it's springtime. That's one of the few. When I used to live in Colorado, like I was saying earlier, I would only come back in Texas right around Easter. Just hang out for like 2 weeks and then go back up north before it got hot and humid again.
Yeah.
So, right on, man. And so, what's the difference between Texas and Detroit? Michigan is one of the few places I've never been.
Never been?
I've been all over the place, but I've never been to Michigan. I've seen it.
Okay.
From Chicago.
It's nice, man. I think everybody should go out and visit if they have the opportunity. Go in the summertime for sure. But the main difference is the heat, and also I feel like kind of coming down here from Detroit. Detroit's had a lot of problems in the past. I get this feeling of energy and newcomers coming in, and it feels like there's opportunity and space for them, and I feel like there's that here as well in Denton, but less so in Dallas.
Yeah.
So it's kind of there's some parallels, but
there's. There's two different, and I completely understand what you're saying. Like there's a lot of different scenes, and like you were saying with Detroit too. I've never been there, but you see what happened, with the automotive industry and all that kind of stuff, and so you would see. As weird as this sounds, most of the stuff I know about Detroit was from like ESPN spotlights on players who were from there or college or something like that, because you would see a little bit of it on the news and such, but news can be very depressing to watch.
Yeah.
So like, Detroit would be playing the Cowboys and I'd be like, oh man, but then you would see like people are building where there was once dilapidated building, there's community gardens now.
Yeah.
And there's entrepreneurs and young people developing businesses.
Lots of young people coming back down to the city. It's changing. You know, some people are not into it, but I think it's interesting to see what happens. You know.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, as far as you're saying, opportunities and the difference that I've experienced the most between Dallas and Denton is, first off, Denton's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
It's very, all the venues are right here.
That's another. Yeah. Detroit is like 40 square miles.
Yeah.
So there's all types of.
And Dallas is, it's huge as well. And from my experiences here and meeting musicians and stuff, everybody's been a little bit different. There's been some guys who have, liked me, some guys who haven't liked me. It's just the way life is, And when I have gotten the chance to play in places like Dallas, that's where I was very fortunate to meet guys like David Quinones Memory, who I believe you met. He might have talked to you about putting something on his vinyl or something. He was talking about making beats with y'all.
Yeah. I
met him. That's where I met a lot of guys who were making a different style of music, as where I only thought that there was really EDM going on in Dallas. And I as much as I wanted to try to get into that scene, there wasn't space for somebody making beats.
Yeah.
It needed to be more of the EDM track kind of style. But yeah, man, like I'm, as soon as, like I said, I read that event page wrong and thought it was in Austin, I was like, oh, man, I messed this up. And then you came out and, said what's up, and we were all immediately, I was like, yes, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to that,
Yeah.
Those of us who didn't make it were working.
Yeah.
So.
It's been pretty awesome. I brought my girlfriend, Amanda Sweet.
She came with you?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know if you met her here
No.
or if she came with you. That is a lovely story. Amanda's out there. She's taking pictures right now, making us look pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very nice of you. Very nice of you. Yeah, so how is, how's it been for you, Amanda? All right, she did this.
She gave us the A-OK.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so how's it been coming down here and experiencing the, kind of the Texas vibe?
It's been great, man. Especially kind of like I was just getting ready to say, kind of sharing it with Amanda. She going back to that event that we threw, the Beats Party. She's been building a relationship with Studio 116, which is a hair salon off of Austin Street, and they let us kind of do that Beats Party there.
Yeah,
and she's been throwing events all around the city, so it's been it's been interesting. You know, she's kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone. So it's kind of one of the catalysts to.
Yeah, for sure. Do you find yourself more of an introvert or extrovert?
Absolutely an introvert.
An introvert?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, well, it was funny because just last night we were listening to Sanford's album, and you came up, and Mercy was like, he's got such a positive energy all the time, man. He like hypes me up, you know, just being around him. So even if you consider yourself an introvert, you make people feel welcome when they're around you, man. And so you know, let me think. There's only one other kid that I can really think off the top of my head who I've ever known from Michigan, and David Pfeiffer was a really nice guy too.
Okay.
So far, Michigan, he actually just friend requested me on Facebook. Shout out, Pfeiffer. So far, Michigan's doing good by the people that I've met, man. And so how did you know, because it's one thing to want to do something, it's another thing to execute it. So how did you go about developing this plan to put on this event?
With the help of my lovely lady. Yeah. So. You know, we basically right before I left Detroit, I had noticed that there was a place called Paramita Sound.
Okay.
And they were doing a similar deal where they would bring local producers out and they would play beats. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. You know, why don't we do something like that here? You know, I could kind of meet some local folks. You know, promote some of my music.
Yep.
And also figure out how to work on stuff in the future, you know?
Yep.
I didn't want to do like an album release because I thought it might be corny.
Yeah, I got you.
But you know, I thought it was a good way to kind of meet people and that stuff.
Yeah, and that's what worked. So, you know, one thing that I was curious is how did you find, you know, mostly, okay, so first off, how did you find me?
Oh, so
that's the first question I'm wondering.
Actually, the process of trying to find local producers kind of led me that way. So
cool.
So and just kind of throwing the event itself gave me connections. So I was like, you know, finding that you guys did the breakfast and beats. You know, every Sunday. I was like, wow, that's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Yeah. So, you know, just through looking for people to come to the event, it kind of put that extra, you know, fuel in the fire. So I found you guys on Facebook. So I reached out to some people that I knew, and they were like, yeah, check out so-and-so and check out so-and-so.
Yeah, because you had a lot of homies on there, you know, with Sanford and Selvage, you know, Lofty Beats, YSA. So and then people I didn't even know that were making beats. You know, I walked in there, I was like, oh, I know half of y'all, more than half of y'all in here. So, yeah, that was a very cool vibe, man. It's something that, you know, that I appreciate those kind of hangouts.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like, shows are fun. I love going to, and I'll go to any type of show, but I do enjoy just the chilling with people who know what it's like to sit in a room by yourself for 8 hours and make music, you know, and the ups and downs of it all.
I didn't want it to be like a high pressure situation. I kind of wanted to get
pizza
everybody,
was delicious.
Everybody there. You
that
know?
Pizza was. I even hit you up. I was like, "Yo, what was that pizza last night?"
Januzzi's, man.
Dude, I know Januzzi's on the hookups with that, man. Yeah. And yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. You know, there was, like I said, there was a lot of good people in there. You know, shout outs to, you know, Dalton and Dana who hang at Dalton, aka Selvage. He'll be at Breakfast and Beats this weekend. You know, yeah, you know, YSA rolling through. You know, it was fun, man. And you guys, you know, that's what I mean. It was just a fun hangout, you know, which is something that, you know, I you know, wanted to see happen more. That's exactly what Breakfast and Beats is. You know, it's a place to go and chill and kick it for a couple hours and listen to some music. You know, very low pressure situations.
Yes.
You know, we had guys play that who were like, dude, I don't even know how to mix. I just make beats. I'm like, dude, bring your laptop.
Yeah.
If your beats are good enough, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know? But if you're like, oh, I'm a really good DJ, and then your transitions and stuff don't work, you know, like Sanford's one of the best DJs in town by far as mixing music, you know, mixing 2 tracks or more at once. He's super good at that, man. But let's get back on track. Let's get back on track here.
Absolutely.
So this happens. So, you know, you put that event on. That was a lot of fun, man. I heard a lot of your music. I thought it was great.
Thank you.
And then, of course, you played Breakfast and Beats, and I heard a ton of your beats, man. It was an hour of all original stuff. That's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of people who've been like, ooh, I can't play for an hour of originals. And I always tell them they don't have to.
Yeah.
How quick? How did you develop? You know, in only 2 to 3 years, how did you develop such a large profile?
Oh, just cranking away at them, man. It was kind of an obsession.
Okay.
You know? My previous lifestyle, my job allowed me to just work 4 days a week.
Okay.
So Friday was kind of my play day, and then Saturday I would kind of share my beats with my friends, and then Sunday get ready to go again.
Yeah.
But it gave me just a little bit of extra time to kind of make some stuff.
Yeah, it's always interesting how 3 days a week, you know, compared to 2 when you're working the 9 to 5, it just flies by, man.
Yeah.
I know. I've argued for 4-day weeks for a long time, man. All right.
3-day weeks.
Y'all, vote for Con Beats and get 4-day weeks and 3-day weekends. All right. We'll rotate them out too. Have 3-day weeks, 4-day weekends.
Okay.
All right, it'll all balance out. It'll be fun. That's cool, man. And so, were you using the machine at that time as well?
Absolutely.
Is that the go-to?
My primary deal is
very cool.
The machine and the Rhodes.
So for those who hear the word machine and think a machine, you know, not something you make music on, what is a machine?
So there's a hardware. It's basically a MIDI controller. It's a square piece of equipment with a bunch of pads on it, so you can play drums and instruments. And basically it connects to machine, the software, and you can basically, you got endless amounts of different sounds. You can make your own sounds.
That's a good illustration.
Yeah, that's a very good illustration. And basically, you make beats with it. It's awesome.
So Machine actually has a software that comes with it.
Exactly. And the hardware doesn't work by itself. You need a computer.
Yeah, okay. I think that was one lesson that a lot of people learned when they were first making beats is that a MIDI controller doesn't come with noise. You know, you have to have a software to create that noise within it. So this is a little bit different. The Machine is a little bit different back when your dad was teaching you to use Acid Pro. So how is the Machine pretty intuitive, or is it something that kind of takes a little bit of time?
So, you know, through using, I kind of used Acid a little bit, used Fruity Loops. You know, based on those two, it was super intuitive. You know, you know, everything just kind of made sense and very easy to use. It's awesome. Yeah,
that's cool, man. So
highly recommend it.
Yeah, is it something like? Because what I'll when I'm doing, you know, sometimes I'll just use samples, and in Ableton, you know, when I'm sampling a track, like I very rarely, sometimes I'll have my MIDI controller plugged in, my one with the pads. That'll be to come up with a pattern. But sometimes I don't even use a MIDI controller to make the beat because I'm sampling a track. And so I just, you know, I don't even drum the beat. I actually write it out. So is that different within the Machine software?
So with the Machine, it's kind of neat. So say you got a sample.
Okay.
And say you want to break it up at the, you know, the drum beats or whatever. You can tell it, hey, recognize when you see these waves, and it'll try to break it up for you. You can hit the pad, and then every time you want to trigger a new pad, you just say, you know, like,
okay.
and then it breaks it up really close, or as close as that you want to, you know.
Can you put like swing on it in a way too? If you
put
want?
Swing on it, yeah. You can get the sample, look at it, and then you can use the knobs on the machine to pinpoint what you want to slice out.
Yeah,
it's a nice interface.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not only the first person from Detroit to be on Breakfast and Beats, you're the first person to bring a machine on to Breakfast and Beats too. So yeah, that was cool to see, man. Different too. You know, I always like to see the different interfaces and different things that people use.
Yeah.
And so, how do you go? Like, if you're gonna play a live set in a way, like, how do you go about doing that?
So yeah, that was my first time. I just I winged it. So what I
it was good. It was good. It was good winging. All right, it was great winging.
My computer it has one job, and it's to embarrass me. So what?
I think we can all relate to that. did Sanford tell you about like when his computer crashed at a show? Oh, we've all had it happen to us. Lofty got the blue screen of death one night on stage. He's literally on stage, plugs his computer, turns it on, it just goes blue. It goes critical error, and just shut down right there. Oh, it's a tragedy.
Yeah. So I was foreseeing that could happen.
Okay.
So I prepared, and I was like, my computer might have failed me, so I made kind of a rough playlist.
Okay.
On my cell phone.
There you go.
And then I ran it through machine, and you can apply effects to sounds coming through the machine, and you can add little effects and stuff to that. So I tried that a little bit, but I was a little nervous. And then for the transitions, I just kind of got some cool comedy sounds.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that. I noticed that.
Playing them in between the tracks.
Yeah. There was some good stuff, man. I mean, dude, we had a show here a while back that everybody had to pick a movie, and then you had to sample that movie.
Oh, that's neat.
And so I sampled The Sandlot. It was a lot of good, lot of fun stuff. And with my style of music, I thought it, with the kind of summery vibes and the baseball and just the, nostalgia of that movie. So yeah, dude, like we played a set and everybody had to, sample that. And so a lot of my transitions, like going to my next songs, would also be followed by Sandlot quotes and stuff like that. So like I said, man, it was perfectly good to me. And, like I love when cats can be like, I'm nervous about this, but then it's just like, oh, that was fun. That was a good time. I feel a lot better now that I've done that. Because yesterday, actually, wait. That was today. Today would have been 3 years ago that I played my very first all original Kind Beats set.
Wow.
Yeah, at that bar Andy's right over there for a festival called Octopia.
Neat.
Yeah, first live show I ever played. Dude, I was so nervous when I was up there. My dad was there. It was the first show my pops had ever been to. 28 years old. This first show my dad's ever come to. I was. And I was just like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, how's my dad going to react to my music? That was the main thing I was thinking about. I was like, how's my pops going to react, But when I got done, he was like, I don't know how you do what you do, but I like it.
Ooh,
now he sends me, like, tips, and he'll be like, hey, you should try sampling this. Hey, sample this, calls me up about it. So it's a good time, man. I'm super glad that Breakfast and Beats can be a place where people can come and play their music for people, maybe not the first time or the second, third, whatever. I'm just glad it can exist and can bring the community even more together, man. And that's what I liked. That's what I liked about your presence in the event was you were just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, I'm here. I want to do something.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit idly by. It helps when you have a girlfriend to motivate you, man. But there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a fantastic thing. So now that you've kind of met some other producers in town, you're somebody who I'm definitely, who I'm going to be like, yo, I want Breezeomatic here. Let's play this. Let's put them on this. Let's do this. What do you kind of see? Where do you see this going for you? What else do you want to do with it?
So, I do a little art and, and building of things.
Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about the art you showed us at the show the other night. Yeah, it was great.
So, I mean, one day, eventually, I'd like to do a cool art show where I also play beats.
There you go.
Maybe each song will have an album cover that's a piece of artwork.
Nice.
I think that would be a cool thing to do. But also, I just kind of like to kick it with everybody and learn what you guys are doing, so we could all, I'd like to make some cool stuff with you guys.
Yeah,
make some albums, make some music, man. Just get weird.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, trust me, the Breakfast Boys get weird sometimes. It happens. But yeah, man, we do, we've started to be able to do those live broadcasts just like we did last night. It was super simple,
sure,
but it worked, and so I was like, okay, cool. We can start to do this more. We can do next time you guys decide to do a party, I can literally come set that stuff up and live broadcast, and so people can be online and be like, oh yeah, there's like this private gig. And,
that's very dope.
Yeah, and it's a really cool, and it's small, but like Sanford, we got 200 views on that video, and that's not a whole lot, but like for 30 minutes and just setting a camera up, and plugging a mixer into it and pressing play.
Yeah.
I was perfectly satisfied. I was like, that's 200 more people who know that this album is coming out.
Okay.
So that was, shout out to this guy over here for teaching me about how all this stuff works.
Yeah. Wait, you and Sanford did a party as well, or broadcasted some stuff as well?
We brought last night we were chilling at his crib, and we just set up on the porch, and just some like homies. They just came and kicked it for a minute, like 3 or 4 people. There were actually a couple cats already there. They were playing Nintendo Switch, nerding out.
Okay.
But like I have some equipment so that I can broadcast stuff with a good audio feed. So it doesn't sound like it's being filmed on a phone. It'll sound like as if you're in here with this kind of audio. And I learned all that having working here. And so we've been wanting to do it for a while. We did it one time before, and then the iPhone that I had went out on me. Literally the screen just stopped working, so I couldn't really use the iPhone without the screen very well.
Okay.
And then I just recently got another one, and so I can start to do that again because the iPhone is what's compatible with the basically the hardware that I used to do it. So that's something that you'll see a lot more of, is like you'll see us broadcast from LSA, when we do burgers and beats up there. So it's a good time, man. Yeah, and it just allows for more people to learn that these kind of hangouts are going on. And so the next time, they see, oh, there's only 4 people there. Oh, next time there's 12. Next time there's 20. Next time there's 30, 60.
Awesome.
So that's where we're kind of looking to go with that kind of broadcasting and live event feeds.
I am down for the cause, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. And, dude, your art is awesome.
Hey, thank you.
You're a very multi-talented man, Mr. Breezeomatic. I don't know, dude. It's like
I'm just trying to be like you guys.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's you're doing better already. First off, this man ordered delicious pizza. Let's go off the checklist here of what makes you cool in my book. Delicious pizza, brought local producers together, does good art, and makes good beats. All right, so yeah, that's 4 things right there, man. That checks it off. That's more than 3. That's just and it's done right there, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. My words of advice are just literally keep doing exactly what you already did. Keep making beats, keep putting on little events, keep having fun with it. Always make sure it's fun, of course.
Absolutely.
If it's not fun, don't do it. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, dude, once again, I wanted to say thank you. It's amazing how quickly, 45 minutes can fly by just like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those of you who do not know this man right here, look him up on SoundCloud at Breezeomatic. That is Breezeomatic. Right there. You can find him on SoundCloud. He's got all kinds of good music. I want to give a shout outs to where the girl? Well, the photographer in the building tonight. Thank you very much. She's around here somewhere. Yeah. And shout outs to Mom, Pops, and Brother right here for helping to raise up a cool dude making some good music, So once again, dude, appreciate you so much for coming on the show, man. It's been a lot of fun talking to you and learning about you, and what I'm excited to see what more goes on in the future, man.
Yeah, man. We'll keep it going.
Yeah. Once again, folks, we got Breezeomatic right here on the show tonight, right here on Sound Values. Now, make sure you tune in this weekend on Sunday Brunch. We got some more good music coming in for you. If not, come on down to Backyard on Bell. And as always, shout outs to our sponsor on this show, LSA Burger Company, y'all. Next week on Sound Values, I've got the producer, JK. So y'all make sure to look him up. Jackson Koenig, can't wait to have you on the show, man. We will see y'all next week right here on DentonRadio.com. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.